vaccination, and this is a new policy that's kicked off today. The centre has taken full control, essentially, of India's vaccination drive from states. And under this new phase of the vaccination program, the centre will now provide free vaccines to everyone above the age of 18. Essentially, everyone eligible for the vaccine. People above 18 will be allowed to get the jabs at vaccination centres without prior registration on the cowin app. So that's no longer mandatory. You can go ahead and step in directly to any of these vaccination centres for on-site registration, both government as well as private. The centre has taken over the vaccine procurement, and this was announced by the Prime Minister on 7th of this month in a national address. So that means that 75% of the jabs manufactured by vaccine makers will be procured by centre. The private hospitals will continue to buy 55% of, 25%, I beg your pardon, of the total vaccine stock. The centre has also capped the vaccine prices across the country. Private hospitals are allowed to charge up to a maximum of 150 rupees per dose. And listen in to exactly what Prime Minister Modi had said on the 7th of this month when he'd announced the new vaccine drive.
2 सप्ताह बाद 21 जून को ही अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस भी है। 21 जून सोमवार से देश के हर राज्य में 18 वर्ष से ऊपर की उम्र के सभी नागरिकों के लिए भारत सरकार राज्यों को मुफ्त वैक्सीन मुहैया कराएगी।
And let's explain to you exactly what the new vaccine policy is all about. Essentially, the centre has completely taken over the vaccination drive from states. Free vaccines will be provided for all adults, all those above the age of 18, at government hospitals. So for this, the centre will be procuring 75% of the vaccine doses from the manufacturers. 25%, which was a state vaccine quota, that comes to an end. It's only the centre that will deal with the vaccination drive. However, I told you that 75% the centre can procure. What about the rest of the 25% doses? Private hospitals can buy that from the manufacturers. Also, private hospitals will charge for vaccinations, but the price has been capped with 150 rupees as the charge that can be charged by a private hospital. That's the maximum. Walk-in vaccination is also allowed now, which means that you don't have to log into the cowin platform and register beforehand. You can directly go to a vaccination centre and get yourself registered on site. This morning with more updates on this. Anisha, good morning. Has this new drive now of free vaccinations kicked off across the country? Are there any teething problems that are being reported at vaccination centres?
Well, we're going to see how this entire thing is going to work out now. Remember, the centre has taken over the vaccination procurement after widespread criticism, and even the Supreme Court had to step in questioning the vaccination procurement policy. But from today, any adult who wants to get vaccinated can simply walk into a vaccination centre, get registered there and get vaccinated. The questions, the big questions that will be asked and will be answered in the next couple of days are several-fold. One, whether we will actually have the amount of vaccination jabs required for the country. Remember, we've seen a very slow spread of vaccination so far, particularly in the rural areas. The questions were being asked about how exactly will the government keep up the pace of vaccination? Will we be able to keep up and ensure that maximum possible number of people in the country are vaccinated? In several states, there were teething issues over every time the new phase has been launched. In Delhi in particular, just yesterday, the Delhi government announced that they only got the intimation regarding walk-in vaccinations late last evening, that is late Sunday evening, and there could very well be glitches, at least in Delhi. In several other states, similar glitches could be seen depending on how many vaccines have actually been supplied. Will people continue to come in and get vaccinated? Because we have seen a certain level of vaccine reluctance, yes, particularly in the rural areas, in the far-flung areas, where there is a little more apprehension and a little less knowledge about the vaccine. So a lot of questions are going to be asked, and we'll see in the next couple of days how it works out.
All right, Anisha, thank you for the moment for joining us with all those details. We'll continue tracking exactly what is happening on the ground and whether people are able to get the vaccine easily, whether it's easily accessible now that it's free and with the new policy kicking in.